We're not politically correct, we just have common sense.
Unscripted, unfiltered, unfaltering. Show of Support's Hunt for Heroes offers tributes and true stories of remarkable courage.
That these terrorists could come in your bedroom, they'd kill you, your wife, and your kids. And that's what these men are fighting to protect us from, these murdering idiots. And they're taking them out so that we don't have to deal with them over here.
Show of Support started it all just after the shock and awe bound a nation together. Now, years of footage portraying wounded veterans, deer stands, and standing ovations. Hunt for Heroes, that started as one man's way to say thanks, is now a series that many say is way overdue.
This is something I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
It's just a raw emotion.
It's been like a dream. It really has.
We still have 40,000 injured troops. It's going to take a while to get around all of them, but there's no quitting. It'll never stop as long as I'm breathing.
It's what the folks at the Shiner Ranch in South Texas live for. 3 successful hunters, each holding a handful of antlers and a head full of heartfelt memories. This is the story of those 2 hunters. Christopher George.
My grandpa gave me a shotgun when I was 9 years old, a little single shot 410. And that's probably the first time that I hunted. I killed 2 pigeons that day.
And Jonathan Albrecht.
I'm from Maryland, around Gaithersburg area right now. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. First time I ever went hunting for was dove. I counted down the days until the hunt when I first found out that I was going to be able to come to Texas and hunt the Show of Support. And I kept telling my wife, I'm going to Texas and you're going to be staying here with the kids.
Jonathan Albrecht is a corporal in the United States Army. Of all his sacrifices made in defense of this country, few can compare with the day he was injured. Not because of the pain, but because he regrets not being able to help his men. Joined by hunting guide Christian Hildebrand, Jonathan Albrecht is on the Show of Support hunt because after all the time in the hospital, his one dream was getting back to the outdoors. Pretty amazing for someone who hasn't spent that much time hunting. But like they say, if it gets in your blood, it gets in your blood. And like so many of the Show of Support hunts for heroes, Jonathan sees it as an escape, therapy for the soul, even if it does begin way before daylight.
That's what hunting does for me. It takes my mind off of the things I have to worry about every day. My grandfather, he was in the Navy, and nobody else is really in the military in my family. And I just really thought it'd be a good way that I could give back to those that's already served for me. The day I was wounded, which was September 11, 2008, I really don't remember much of it. I just remember us driving down. We got into which is called a fatal funnel, and we got ambushed, and we rode over an IED on a bridge. I woke up in the hospital. A nurse actually told me most of the part, and then I got bits and pieces from the rest of my crew that were still alive, that were there that day. A lot of things that go through my mind after being injured and just seeing the things that I've saw overseas, just appreciating life so much more and being grateful for everything you have and every day and every second. You learn to love your family more, you learn to love your kids more, your wife more, and just really respect every single day, because you never know what's going to happen.
Forever, he will carry the scars of that terrible day. But Jonathan pushes back those memories. When he catches the glimpse of the back end of a great buck.
Christian taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, get your gun ready." And I'm so excited, I can't believe, I get to kill a deer. I got pretty excited, but then I had to keep telling myself, I had to calm down so I could get the accurate shot, so I didn't wound the deer and he didn't get away from me.
Johnston never thought the fog would clear or that daylight would reveal such a great buck. It's still very early, so they've got plenty of time to wait for that buck to give them a good angle. As long as a hot doe doesn't come running into the opening stirring up all the bucks. Finally, the buck offers his best side, and Jonathan takes his time.
I told you every deer I shot, they drop. Fucking awesome.
Sweet.
That was sweet.
Good shot, man.
Thank you. Good coaching.
That worked out well. That deer, I saw him when it was real foggy and dark. I could tell by his shape he was over here in those big brow tines. He walked off. He must have circled all the way, either around behind us, all the way on this brush line to get where he came from.
I dropped him right there on the spot, and it was just so exciting. And after the shot was done, it was just pure excitement. I was able to finally, get all excited, and because if I did before the shot, I won't shoot him.
A cloudy, chilly morning in the brush country of South Texas. This is what deer hunting was made for. This walk to a deer that opens up a whole new world of enjoying the outdoors. With every step on uneven ground, Jonathan gets more excited as the fallen buck gets bigger.
To be able to put my hands on the deer first time, it was kind of like, I can't believe I just got this huge 8-pointer, the mass on the 8-pointer was just ridiculous. I've never seen anything grow that big in its mass. It was just, I couldn't believe it.
Big old bladed brow tines.
One of the things I think I could take back away from this trip is just the memories of the people and just being able to see how they open everything up for you. No matter what you want, if you need it and you ask them, it's there. And just the hospitality and the support that you get. I'll be like, hey, Texas is awesome because of my experience with SOS support. It's just awesome.
Listen here, there.
A trip like this, SOS support, it really touched me. It means so much because it's somebody saying personally, hey, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for everything you've done, for your sacrifice, and just for your service. It really touches me,
We'll go get the truck and we'll load him up.
Sweet.
Good job.
Thank you.
The very next morning, miles on the other side of the ranch, another American hero feels his heartbeat accelerate and his nerves go out of control. When SOS Support's hunt for heroes continues. Stay with us.
I didn't have any real expectations coming on this hunt. I just knew that I was going to have a good time with good people in a good place.
It's not the first time United States Army Staff Sergeant Christopher George has spent time in a deer blind. Far from it. He's deer hunted his whole life, but even a seasoned veteran will tell you that mornings in South Texas are what dreams are made out of. With his guide Jason Sekula, Christopher examines every sign of movement, every animal image that reminds him he's in the promised land of whitetail deer.
I started getting into the weather and I was checking everything, elevation, what the moon phase was going to be.
A morning at the Shiner Ranch can take your breath away. for sheer numbers of great deer on this old family place in the brush country.
It was just phenomenal seeing all these trophy whitetail deer, and the buck to doe ratio was just incredible. I knew I wanted to join the Army when I was 9 years old. And a lot of kids, they say, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a police officer, I want to be in the Army. Me, it wasn't a question. I knew that that's what I was going to do. So when I turned 17, the first thing I asked my dad is, can you sign this piece of paper so I can join the Army? I deployed to Operation Iraqi Freedom 3 different times, 2003 to 2004, 2005 to 2006, and 2007 to 2009, totaling 39 months, 3 different areas of Iraq. Most of the time when things happen in Iraq, you don't see it coming. And that's what makes it such a hard war to fight, is you just never know who the enemy is, where the enemy is, and what the enemy's plans are. I was hurt 2 different times and they were both accidents. It wasn't like I was shot by Iraqis or something.
Christopher found out the hard way that the front lines are dangerous places. A terrible accident took him out, unable to return to his men and his post for good.
And it's really tough. It took me probably 18 months to get over a lot of the emotional stuff. You know, that deer is just beautiful. And that's when I decided that that was a deer for me.
A great mature buck, and Jason gives the green light on this one. Of all the research Christopher did before this hunt, nothing could prepare him for this now or never moment. However, this now or never moment will have to wait. The buck needs to give up a broadside. And about the time Christopher sees a good angle, something spooks the buck. It's a great buck, showing his dominance, but a youngster by shiner standards. Christopher watches his buck walking toward the brush line. He may lose his chance, not only by another buck, but now by a mesquite tree. All they can do is wait.
I'm afraid he's gonna walk off. That's fine.
I got the rifle out the window and everything felt solid. Everything felt true. Crosshairs were solid. He wasn't very far. He was maybe 150 yards.
Christopher's buck wants to put some distance between him and the younger deer. What was once a perfect broadside is now becoming a nightmare. The buck stops and turns ever so slightly.
Okay, I'm on him. When he turns a little bit, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready whenever you are. Go ahead and ease it off safety.
It is.
Okay. He's only about 120 yards, so he should be good. Just about center.
You guys ready? No,
Let him
wait,
hold
start.
on.
I'm on him if you're ready.
Yeah, right behind the shoulder there would work.
Ready?
Something Christopher never expected to see. A huge buck running off unscathed. No tumbling to the ground, no dropping in his tracks. The buck just keeps getting smaller and smaller, swallowed by the brush.
Everything felt perfect. I pulled slack out of the trigger and everything.
And when I touched the gun off, it just didn't sound right. It felt right, but it just didn't sound right, and the deer just didn't act right.
There are indeed better ways to end a morning hunt. A missed shot at a great buck is not what Christopher had in mind, nor did his guide Jason.
I don't think he went very far,
But like any well-intentioned hunter, they'll scour the areas for any sign of blood and any sign of hope.
We spent a considerable amount of time looking for that deer, making sure that it wasn't wounded. We couldn't find a single speck of blood and only a small little handful of white belly hair. So we came to the conclusion that I just grazed that deer. And that's when my heart just sank. Because I knew that that was a good deer and that I wasn't going to get an opportunity with that same deer.
Cruel endings mixed with high expectations. Part of life in South Texas. Christopher is heartbroken, but Jason tells him they'll be back here at the same spot tonight, which leaves Christopher with not much hope. He feels like the noise and the brush thrashing has sent every whitetail to the next county. Little does he realize, though, he's hunting in one of the best places in the world for a whitetail second chance.
We need to. Maybe we can look at the footage, huh?
Yeah.
A last-minute buck and the last flicker of daylight. When the show of support Hunt for Heroes continues. Stay with us.
Never hunted any landscape like this South Texas brush country like this, but it has been a great experience hunting here. Everybody was kind of trying to pick me up, telling me that you'll get another one.
It's been a long day for Christopher George. The memories of that disappointing miss is hard for a military man to bear. Hunting guide Jason Sekula, though, has confidence in the fading daylight. The deer, it seems, are moving later. Maybe totally because of all the commotion from the morning mishap. Whatever the case, they won't give up until complete darkness swallows the entire South Texas landscape. Out at the far left, from the edge of the window of the blind, a great buck steps out into the open. It's a mature buck. They can easily tell that, even in the fading light.
I was much more excited for the second deer because there was so much more on the line. I had already missed. I didn't want to miss again, so I just wanted to make sure that everything was correct.
It's now a matter of letting the buck move more to the right in the direction he's walking. Pretty soon, he'll be in exactly the same spot as the buck from the morning hunt that has haunted Christopher's every thought.
And that's when my spirit was lifted. And I can just remember making sure and doing my checklist of all my fundamentals before I took the shot.
At this point, the buck is indeed at the same spot where the nightmare miss occurred that rattled Christopher's cage. Christopher told Jason all he needs is a second chance. And now, in place and in control, Christopher waits for just the right angle and just the right moment. As the buck turns broadside, Jason begins his last-minute coaching.
Okay, just take your time, slow and steady. Okay, just take your time, you're fine, you have plenty of time. Let him take one more step forward. Okay, just take a deep breath. Whenever you're steady. Ready. Okay, just slow and steady.
That sounded good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice job.
When I touched that trigger off and saw the muzzle flash in my scope, I knew everything was going to go well. Heard the bullet smack. Deer didn't go very far. And that was all she wrote. It was just amazing. I was so excited. It was like I was 12 years old again, with the heart beating and having a hard time really catching my breath and focusing on my breathing. Got kind of chilly, huh?
Yeah, it did.
Oh man, I'm excited. When I walked up to that deer and I could just see how mature he was, you know, he had a lot of good points. He had that kicker.
Excellent. Nice deer, man.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah. That kicker. Knotty bases on him and everything. Hey, congratulations, man. Good job.
Thank you so much.
That's a really nice deer. Yeah, big old forehead on him. Pretty cape.
Oh,
Man, it's a nice buck.
very happy.
Whitetail hunting will make you a believer in second chances. Christopher George and Jason Sekula examine every inch of this Shiner Ranch buck. And even a seasoned hunter can't help but feel incredible relief at a time like this.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
The pictures and the gifts, none of that lasts, but the memories that I've gained here and the friendship that I've gained here will last a lifetime. I'm already wanting to keep in touch with people that left a couple hours ago.
With every successful deer hunt, Show of Support's momentum increases, even in the darkness of a remote pasture in South Texas. Jerry Johnston's original dream carries the legacy of a pure and simple mission. Simply to say thanks to those who fought for our survival. That's why they always say, this is hunting's finest hour. If you know of an American warrior longing for a truly unforgettable hunting experience, or for more information on becoming part of Show of Support's Hunt for Heroes, go to our website, showofsupport.org.